Pasha Pablo, thank you for tuning. You know what we're going to get into today. They didn't listen, so you got poor. The tariff nightmare. Now, most people that's been following the channel, following Pasha Pavo, Facebook, LinkedIn, they've witnessed Pasha say things, sometimes years in advance. And a lot of times, because we're dealing with people that don't know what they don't know, a lot of times they be like, Pasha don't know what he talking about. We ain't gotta listen to Pasha. Who he think he talking to? Why he telling us we need to hurry up and build a sustainable community? Why he saying he want to do branding and brand neighborhood businesses and bring them up so that they can compete on a higher level? Why does he think that he's investing $1 million worth of psychology into the local community that can't afford it? What would be his reason for that? Is he trying to run game on us because he wants 3, 4, 5,000, 10,000 for a project? That's what it is, right? He just trying to come up with some stuff so that he can charge us, right? For those that don't know, I'm Pasha Pablo, American brand evoker, critical solutions expert. So I've been on this campaign for years now. In reality, it's evolved. It's become a more perfected, a more digestible for some campaign. But people was like, Pasha don't know what he's talking about. And you know, I really dislike when that occurs, because what happens is that means that I'm going to be forced to watch a whole bunch of people suffer, including myself, because we're all connected, because they didn't believe or they thought they knew something more than me, right? Look at LinkedIn. Go on my LinkedIn page, scroll back over the last 6 months, and look at all the warnings I gave. Like, go back to summer. You know? What, the election was November for the United States citizens? Their president goes into office in January. Those that know me know I've been speaking about this for years, but you can at least go back to summer and look at all the warnings I gave. Look at all the people denying the information I was providing. How many times I mentioned I talked to a business owner and they were like, no, I'm good. And I was like, no, you don't understand what's coming. This is why they don't comment on my page now. See, they remembered. Pasha gave them a warning. Pasha said, let's do this. Pasha said he would help them. And they're like, are you pitching me? Fuck yeah, I'm pitching you because you need help, motherfucker. It's one thing to know you need help and not have the resources. It's another thing to be too dumb to know that you need help. So, congratulations. You all have done it again. But this time is way big. It's way big. Let's take a look at this real quick. I'm just gonna share this. Let's make this big. Let's do it like this. Just a little Google search on this. Trump imposes tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico. 10% duty on China. China's responding, right? For those that don't know what tariffs are, this is what they look like. You can pause the video, you get the idea. Here's another picture. I don't know if this is true or not. It's hearsay, but shit's falling out the sky, right? See, I told y'all when Pasha was saying I need you to get to the point where you're comfortable spending $2, $3, $4, $5 more on a product, buying it from your neighbor instead of going to Walmart, investing in someone in the community to make it themselves instead of going and buy it. Y'all were laughing. So y'all don't understand this war, because y'all think war means bombs falling out the sky like World War II and stuff. I mean, it'd be kind of crazy to have the war look the same 80 years later. Pasha said, hey, let's get together, let's do this. Y'all laughed. Y'all stopped responding. Y'all like to ignore people, right? Then Trump gets in office for the United States Corporation, and he hits y'all with all this stuff. All this stuff that if you just did what I asked you to do as Pasha, we would be prepared for. But you were too busy saying how good you were. Canadian dollar, Mexican peso plunge on tariff remark. How good you were. And I was trying to warn you, general population, Jim Pop. Me and the Republic was trying to warn you. It's bigger than you. So much bigger than you. And in some cases, people did everything they could to try to offend me, upset me, snitch on me, tell on me, bring me down further than I already am, so that they could feel better about themselves instead of join forces so that we can battle this together. The reason why you don't have the right attitude is because you don't have the right leadership. I'm that leadership. But you've been avoiding me, so you're out of position. And you can't scramble to do something that you don't know what needs to be done, because you didn't spend 2 decades studying how we got here. So you wonder why Pasha be like, let's just get rid of the problems. Because now we're being drugged through this because ignorance outnumbers us. Ego outnumbers us. The people with dementia that forgot the last 20 things you said you were right about in advance outnumber us. We are being injured, Americans, because United States citizens outnumber us. And they're corrupted by normative social influence. What do you think we should do about that? So, let's take a look at this. $10% tariff on all Chinese imports implemented February 4th. 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico announced February 1st. China's retaliating. Discusses 20 tariffs on $21.2 billion worth of U.S. exports. See, because y'all don't know your history, you don't know how you got here. See, because y'all think the Boston Tea Party was about tea. This doesn't look familiar to you. You don't realize that the colonies, recap on history real quick. The Central Bank of England or London is what the colonies were breaking away from. Because when they got here, they didn't have any currency. The currency that they had came from the Central Bank of London. The problem was, they said, here's $1. They said, here's $1. The problem is they owed interest on that dollar. So for every dollar the Central Bank of London gave them, they will owe $1.25. Let's just use that as an example, make the math easy. So if they owed $1.25, but all they had was $1, where did they get the other quarter from? Let's say this is the quarter. They have to get the quarter from the same Central Bank of London so that they can pay back the $1.25. But now, because they got the quarter, they owe interest on the quarter. So it was a trap. And what they taught y'all was the Boston Tea Party was really them separating from the Central Bank of London, because they got to the point where they were creating their own currencies. If you go back and look at history, there was a period of time where like the state of Georgia might have had 7 different versions of the $5 bill, just the state of Georgia. And what was going on was localities was printing their own money, printing their own currency rather. And if they had cell phones back in the day, the conversation would look like this. London called them up like, "Ring, what you doing?" "Oh, we chilling." The States was like, "We chilling." Colonies was like, "We chilling." They said, "Well, look, you guys normally borrow, like any drug dealer, you guys normally borrow $8 million a year. This year, you only borrow 6. What's going on?" They're like, "Oh, nah, we good. We printing our own stuff. You charging us too much. So we got, we becoming our own plug." London was like, can't do that. Colonies was like, why not? So the colonies thought they were going to be bad. They said, look, or the colonies thought they were going to be, corporate on them. They said, we're going to put taxes on everything then. Right? And London said, okay, well, we're just going to put tariffs on everything you send over here. They're going to be so high that the people of London, England, only want to buy English goods. The only problem for the colonies was England was their only customer. So when they stopped buying American tobacco, American this, American everything, the colonies stopped making bread. So that war was separating from the Central Bank of London over currency and tax and tariff. Welcome back to the future. So China's retaliating. Tariffs on $21.2 billion worth of U.S. exports, right? Such as energy and agricultural products. Now, why was Pasha telling you guys it was so important? How about a reduction in GDP? The tariffs are projected to reduce U.S. economic output by 0.4% over the long term. Projected to reduce. Could be a lot worse. This reduction is attributed to increased cost of imports, which can disrupt supply chains and reduce the competitiveness of U.S. businesses. Why was he saying, let's build our brands? The 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports are expected to have a more substantial impact compared to the 10% tariff on Chinese goods due to the higher tariff rate and the volume of trade involved. How about inflation? Right? How about inflation? The tariffs are likely to contribute significantly to inflation. Economists predict that these tariffs could result in a one-time increase of 0.5% to 0.7% in U.S. consumer prices. More specifically, the 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods are expected to increase the year-over-year pace of personal consumption expenditures, the price index, by 0.5% to 1% all by itself, potentially pushing headline inflation above 3% by the end of 2025. Right when they told you it was getting comfortable for you. What about the trade deficit and currency effects you're ready to experience? Yeah. Why should you listen to Pasha? You got all these people with millions of followings telling you all this bullshit, and how did it help you? Because the tariffs are likely to exacerbate the U.S. trade deficit by making U.S. exports less competitive due to higher prices and stronger US dollar. The appreciation of the dollar, driven by reduced demand for foreign currencies, will make the US goods more expensive abroad, potentially reducing export volumes. At the same time, when you're dealing with the BRICS nations growing, that don't want to do business in a dollar to begin with. Oh, why was Pasha saying we need to focus on being in a position where we don't need anything coming into the docks, so that if the dock workers went on strike again, that none of us would be concerned because we produce everything for ourselves? Why was Pasha saying that to y'all? Why was y'all acting like y'all didn't know what Pasha was talking about? Or saying that Pasha didn't know what he was talking about? Where's all the people on LinkedIn now? Where's all the people on Facebook now? Where's all the geniuses in the office now? This is why you think Pasha's just some angry salt and pepper beard guy. No, I'm just tired of talking to people who act like children. Picking and choosing who they want to snitch on and tattletale on, or who they want to support because of fiat currency with no knowledge. Pathetic. How about the job losses? Right? You ain't have to listen to Pasha. How about the job losses because you didn't listen? Oh no, he just want attention. Right? The tariffs are estimated to result in a loss of approximately 330,000 full-time equivalent jobs in the U.S., with the automotive and manufacturing sectors being particularly hit hard. The increased cost of imported components will raise production costs for U.S. manufacturers, potentially leading to job cuts as companies seek to maintain profitability. Why was Pasha telling you to start your business? Why was Pasha telling you just to design something and get started? You think I really am getting rich off of your little $5,000? Pepsi paid $1.2 million for their logo. But you were blind. I couldn't show you the truth because you were too busy trying to feel how you feel about the lies around you. You invested in the lies. See, the tariffs will have varying effects across different sectors. The automotive, energy, and agricultural sectors are expected to be the most affected due to their reliance on imports from Canada and Mexico. Additionally, tariffs on the Chinese goods will impact sectors such as electronics and consumer goods, which rely on Chinese imports for components and finished products. Why? Because y'all were laughing at Pasha when he told y'all start making this shit yourselves. You think these powerful people simply destroyed me for the moment, just so that, I wouldn't be riding around in a Benz? You think that's why they did that? You think these key people were really overly that adamant about you not knowing what a toxic workplace was? Nah, see, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand the value of Pasha. That's why y'all don't deserve me, General Pop. But if y'all don't deserve me, I kind of feel like it's y'all that should be going, not me. What happens if we get rid of all of the ignorance? Would we be in this position, America? Look around you. Republic, at all the people you spoke to about stuff along these lines that we could have been mobilizing, gearing towards, and they alienated, ostracized you, clowned you, and now they're the reason why we're all going to suffer. If you didn't have to waste time and energy influencing them to be aware of something more than the Super Bowl score and commercials, we wouldn't be in this position right now as a nation. So how many people around you help the United States further enslave you under the illusion of a global battle that they needed to tariff size? You see the problem with United States citizens and how they're weaponized against you? Because they're not in control of their own emotions and they don't think beyond what they're told by perceived leadership. Do you see how much of a threat they are to our nation? So the trade deficit effects, the tariffs are likely to exponentially affect U.S. trade deficit by making U.S. exports less competitive. So your work is now less competitive. And you didn't even do anything to cause it. Job losses estimated to result in approximately 330,000 full-time equivalent jobs. And that's just the start. We're not even talking domino effect. Everything from automotive, energy, agriculture, Canada, Mexico, China. So China's retaliatory tariffs on $21.2 billion worth of U.S. exports, targeting key industries like energy and agriculture, are expected to further strain U.S.-China trade relations and could lead to additional economic disruptions, like the hearsay that China's now going to investigate Google for what are they going to find there? What if China bans Google? You're not gonna be able to get no more Temu. These measures are strategically aimed at key U.S. industries, particularly those that are significant to the U.S. economy and have political implications. Why was Pasha saying stop focusing on China? Like, if you go back to 3M, I warned them at 3M when I was there. I said, over a period of years, I kept asking leadership, because one of the reasons I liked my time there when I was there was most of our, I'm gonna say most of it, but actually a good portion of it, a significant amount of our production, our sales, went to Asia. So we were one of the few companies at the time, not that it was a focus, so to speak, but we were balancing the national debt because we were actually making sales that went out of the country versus bringing stuff into the country. So I was like, yo, when this war with China pops off, you guys prepare for like 60% decline in potential sales. Oh, okay. See, I left. I told him, I said, when I leave, y'all should be cautious. Y'all should leave too. I left in April of that year. I mean, of a particular year. And the beginning of August started the collapse of 3M. Literally, the stock price dropped 65%. They had to spin off their entire healthcare industry as a separate company just to try and stop the hemorrhaging, just in case everything went under, I guess. I just be so tired of, I ain't gonna call it predictions, but advisory consultations. And because I didn't charge some board of directors $1 million to talk to them, they think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then we all gotta suffer because Jim Pop is so ignorant. They looking for a suit and a tie. Suit and a tie ain't never saved them. Wonder why I'm so disgusted with y'all. Wonder why y'all can't look in the mirror at yourselves. That's why you're so busy judging me, right? And then when stuff like this happens every time, where you at? Nowhere. You spent a year telling me how wrong I was. Where you at? Stocks plummeting. Where you at? Pasha don't know what he's talking about. He a fool. Can't talk to fools. But this fool always right. Because I focus on being true. Not right. The measures are strategically aimed at key U.S. industries. That means that without the pivot of focusing on now, in a panic, the delivery of all these international sales to be converted into national sales internally, there's going to be huge repercussions in key U.S. industries. Key U.S. industries that Pasha was telling you, if you started 6 months ago, a year ago, 4 years ago, we could have been in the process of growing your business as large to scale to even replace portions of the United States government. Oh, which Trump is now cutting workforce from 65,000 people takes the severance package. Oh, now they're worried about USAID. When I was talking to the healthcare people, telling them, I want to help you expand. You're going to have an opportunity to become bigger. Pasha, we're okay. We're good. We're making a little profit. We don't see how we could do any better than what we're doing right now. We don't even want to talk to you about it because you wear hoodies. We want a shirt and tie and a suit. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. Because the whole nation is gravy fucked. Because you wanted a suit and tie and a smile with a clean shaven face and some little bullshit ass bachelor's degree and some shit that don't nobody know what the fuck they talking about. Because they were too busy sucking dick to get a title that they didn't research nothing for the last 20 years to tell them what we supposed to do right now. Pasha knows what we supposed to do right now. And it might start with getting rid of y'all that like to waste time. Because I'm tired of trying to influence people. I think America's tired of trying to influence people on what's right for America before it's too late. And we know who the problems are. Because what's going to be the impact on the average consumers and families with like 2 children? Cost of living increases, price increases, the imposition of tariffs is expected to lead to, of course, higher prices on all imported goods. This because the tariffs act as a tax on imports, which increases the costs for importers. These increased costs are going to be often passed on to you, the consumer, in the form of higher prices at a time where you're already struggling and suffering the most in probably the last 25 years of your life. Specific product categories, like if you got a family with 2 children, you're probably going to be expected to see price increases across a range of products that you regularly purchase, or maybe not be able to purchase them at all, like those consumer electronics from China, automobile parts that come from Canada and Mexico. Oh, which car you drive? Probably all of them going to be affected. Doesn't matter. You worried about eggs? What about your fresh produce and all the other food products that come in from Mexico? What about your energy products that come down from Canada? Didn't want to listen. Pasha, You was too busy taking a vacation. The overall cost of living for the typical U.S. household could see an increase in annual expenses by over $1,200 to these tariffs alone, as estimated by economic analysts. At a time where many people don't have an extra $1,000 in their annual budget, period. You thought I didn't like you. I didn't like what you were doing to our nation in your ignorance and blindness. If it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna fix this. I need 50,000 people. I need 50,000. And we need some capital. We know who the problems are in the communities. We know the decision makers. We know the people around you that ignored you, wasted time, effort, and energy. You couldn't do it by yourself. Talk shit about you. Make a list. The impact on consumer spending as we all go through this reduced purchasing power. The increased prices due to tariffs effectively reduce the purchasing power of you, the consumer. Studies have shown that tariffs can reduce American consumers' spending power significantly, with estimates suggesting a reduction of $46 billion to $78 billion annually due to the proposed tariffs on certain product categories. $46 to $78 billion reduction. And of course, it's going to be a disproportionate effect. The impact of the tariffs is likely to be felt more acutely by the low-income households and families with children who typically spend larger portions of their income on necessities like food, clothing, and household goods. Oh no, but y'all didn't see this coming, right? He just kept muting Pasha. Wage growth versus inflation. While quote unquote real wages, they say in your jurisdiction, the US, has been rising, allowing for increased purchasing power, the impact of tariffs could offset some of these, if not most of them, the gains by increasing the cost of goods. For families with 2 kids, this means that even if your income is rising, the increased cost of living due to the tariffs could reduce your ability to purchase the same amount of goods and services as before. Oh, we gotta get rid of y'all. If we want to stop going through this stuff, we gotta get rid of y'all. That's in the way. Availability of goods The tariffs can disrupt supply chains by making imported goods more expensive and less available. We saw this before during COVID. I thought y'all would have learned. This can lead to shortages, reduced availability of certain products, as businesses struggle to find alternative suppliers because they didn't consider doing that before. When Prasha was saying, let's optimize your processes, make them more robust. Now all of this, they're going to pass on all the increased costs to you, the consumer. And guess what's going to happen? Then they're going to come out and say, you know what, guys? We should shift to domestic products. While tariffs make imported goods more expensive, they can incentivize consumers to switch to domestically produced goods. This is the whole reason Pasha was saying, let's fix your attitude, meaning your position. Let's get you in position for what's coming. But y'all know so much. However, this shift may not fully compensate for the reduced availability of certain imported goods when we had time to actually start to produce them here ourselves, find alternatives here on our land, especially if domestic production cannot meet demand or if domestic alternatives are not available. How can small businesses combat the tariff impacts through innovation that Pasha was suggesting? Because in the light of recent tariff changes and their adverse effects on economy and average consumers, small business owners have a unique opportunity to innovate and expand their offerings. You got to diversify product lines, local sourcing. Small businesses can and need to focus on sourcing materials and products locally to reduce reliance on imported goods. Y'all didn't like it when I said it before. Now you don't have a choice. And everybody's going to suffer because you late to the party and you didn't want to trust Pasha. Because you were trusting the guy in the suit and the bullshit ass smile. This not only mitigates the impact of tariffs, but also supports the local economy. You want to have new offerings by introducing innovative products or services that cater specifically to local needs. Businesses can attract new customers and create loyal client base. For instance, a bakery could offer, gluten-free or vegan options to appeal to the niche markets that's around them that maybe they weren't worried about before when everything was being bought in from all over the place. So emphasize your unique, what they call value positions. So get the quality over quantity. Small businesses can highlight the superior quality of their products compared to the cheaper imported alternatives. Like when people be like, they got their marketing somewhere else. And I'd be like, okay, you're either going to spend way too much or it's not going to be as good. Either way, you should be rocking with Pasha Paro. They didn't even understand to tell you this was coming. How can they help you with it? Educating consumers about the benefits of buying local can encourage them to choose local businesses over imports. Personalized services, again, offering unique and personalized services can set small businesses apart from their larger competitors. They're not going to be able to make the shift as easy. They're not going to be able to transition as quickly as you can. So take advantage of that. This could include customized products, tailored services, excellent customer service, anything that could forge that customer loyalty. Technology and efficiency, e-commerce expansion, boom, take advantage of it. By investing in online sales platforms, small businesses can reach broader audiences and compensate for local market fluctuations, right? Just stay within our borders. This enables you to sell directly to consumers nationally, reducing dependence on traditional retail channels affected by tariffs. If you want to, stop sending your stuff out the country. Streamlining operations, boom, adopting the technology to improve operational efficiency can help small businesses reduce costs, and this may include using software for inventory management or automated systems that enhance productivity. See, I got greenbelt experience too. Process optimization, it's what y'all need right now. You need to optimize. Community engagement and collaboration. Is a joke, right? You got all these little places talking about community this, community that, and none of them community. They don't even know how to communicate. How they gonna collaborate if they can't even talk to each other? They still victims of social distancing. Local partnerships, collaborating with other local businesses can create synergies that benefit all involved. But you're too busy walking past people because they're not wearing a suit. And the people with the suits are only in the same places as the people with the not suits because their businesses couldn't afford to be where they were 2 years ago because they're failing. The people with the t-shirts are climbing. And the people with the suits are thinking that they're better while they're falling out the sky. For example, a florist could partner with a local bakery for wedding events, offer bundle services. No brainer. People still gonna want to get married. Now you can offer them a cheaper bundle to save them in the middle of the panic and crisis too. For those who haven't learned what marriage is yet, right? Community events. Hosting or participating in community events can raise awareness about small businesses and their offerings. This boosts visibility and forges a sense of community, encouraging locals to shop nearby. And advocate for change. You guys got to stop being scared. 1, to be different. 2, to talk about how you really feel. Because part of the reason why you don't like Pasha is because he talks about stuff that he really knows instead of what you got off of Sports Center and you don't know shit about. You're just repeating and regurgitating. Small business owners can organize to voice their concerns about tariffs and their impacts on local economies. Engaging with local chambers of commerce or trade associations can amplify their message. Educating consumers. That's what I've been doing with y'all. Y'all thought I was just out here ranting and raving or whatever, right? No, I was educating y'all to let you know what the value was because I knew you had no clue. Informing your customers about how tariffs affect prices and availability can encourage them to support the local businesses or just generally change their thought process overall. Consumers who understand the challenges faced by small businesses are more likely to choose local options. I'm Pasha Paro.